so I would just sit there, and then student come and then knock, and then say that good morning, Dato', and then they start to say things, to discuss. So it's a role play in the classroom. So that's development, developing the materials, and how the next thing that I would like to share is how we use the materials in the classroom. As you see the model just now, PBL is for students in small group. They need to work in small groups, so we need to divide students in small group. So I did the division myself. I didn't allow students to do it to group on their own, so I would divide students. So just want to make sure that for each group they have mix of gender, mix of races. So we divide students, and then I give materials to students. And once we give materials, it's not like, okay, just let the students discuss and we can do our work. No, we have to still actively involve. So what we do, what I did was that I would, when students do discussion, let me show some photos so that you can see how things are being done in SOA. This is my students in the classroom. So they would be sitting in round tables, so 5 students in one group. So I would go and sit together with them, and I would discuss with them. So it's actually this process is very, very important when we do PBL, because when we do the discussion, one thing is that we want them to understand the material. So when I go and discuss with them, I check their understanding, whether they understand or not. And then the second reason why we need to have discussion with them is to allow them to ask questions. Sometimes they don't understand things, so they won't raise their hand and ask. So when you go and sit with them, then they would ask questions. And then another reason is that we want to correct the mistake at early stage. I don't want them to have misconception about things and then they carry that to the end. So I would ask them about their understanding, and if they have something, they have misunderstanding or something, we would correct at that time. And also the purpose of having discussion with students is to encourage all students to participate, because we have different characteristics of students. Some students are very talkative and some are not. So when I sit in their group, I would observe how students behave. And if I see students who are not active, for example, one group, Nabila, right? For example, Nabila, she's just stay quiet. She's very, very hardworking in terms of doing things, but in terms of talking, she just remain quiet in class. So I need to encourage her to speak. So I would ask her question like, have you divided work between yourself? And then I said yes. So what topic you need to read? And then she would say this topic. Okay. Do you want to tell me what you have read? What you would like to share with me? Sometimes sometimes students would respond to that. Sometimes they just choose to say, I haven't read much. So that means they don't want to share. So it's okay. Just let it be for the first time, and then next time you go and you start to speak again, and then the confidence will build up. All right. So that's the purpose of having those discussion with students. So it's very, very important process of discussion. And okay, and then feedback from students at the end of the PBL, at the end of the project, I would ask students to give feedback. Right? We call it as reflection. Students need to give their reflection. So I would ask what is their thought before, when they first received the case. What was their thought when they were working on the case? What was their thought at the end of the case? And a few more questions. And at the end, I asked them to rate out of 10. Where are they in terms of the knowledge in the case? So you could see some students who rate 6 out of 10, some 9 out of 10. But when we look at how they write about their thoughts, we could actually see why they rate themselves 6, for example, or 9. Normally, students who rate themselves 9, they are very happy with the case, and they're happy with the progress and everything. So from there, we have to improve or do something with the students later on. So the feedback is very, very important. And it's not only feedback from the students, we also give feedback, right? So at the end of the at the end of PBL, I would give feedback to students. Sometimes I don't give feedback at the end. As students progress, I would give feedback. And now our aim, when we have like group work like this, is for students to help each other. Right? We're not like primary students where we rate student number 1, number 2, or number 3, but we have our outcome, course learning outcome. We want students to achieve, so we want all students to achieve. So I give them feedback as they progress. For example, they do something, they prepare documents. So I would say, okay, there's a mistake here, you need to go back and look again, and then they will go and improve. And later, when the deadline come, and then I will ask, are you comfortable to submit to me now? And then they say, okay, they are comfortable. Then I would say, if they're not comfortable, I will see why, and sometimes I will give them like 1 day extension if they know where the mistake is and if they want to improve. Right? So the aim is not really to grade them, but to make them understand the content. And I did mention just now, when we develop materials for PBL,